I think that's LaShawn, I think. So we are going to dive into some totally different content. Now, let me just tell you guys this. I want you to be transparent, and I want you to drop in the chat if you are still giving your employees a paper manual. If you are still giving your employees a paper manual, I want you to just kind of drop in the chat, or you can even raise your hand, right? I just out of curiosity. Based on the research that I can tell, about 85 to 90% of childcare centers are doing that. Yep, look, here we go. Yes, 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 yes. One person said no. So Julie, you said no. Okay, so here's the thing I want you to know. 0 people are reading them, right? 0 people are reading them and comprehending them. You're hiring Generation Z. You're hiring people who came out of schooling where they did not have textbooks. You know, my son went to Baylor University, and he's a millennial baby, right? Born in the year 2000. So he was in college right in the middle of COVID, has a degree from a large university, and 0 textbooks. So people are not reading textbooks, they skim. And when you can create digitally rich content to help your employees understand what to know, think, and do, you are going to be a winner in that space. So let's dive into today's content. In this masterclass, this is what you are going to experience. You are going to, I'm going to show you how to cut your training time in half. I want you to have time freedom, okay? By the end of our time together, you are going to completely learn how to teach and train your employees in a totally different way. And if you stay with me until the end, I've got a professional development certificate you're going to be able to grab. I want to make sure you get that. And we have, it's called Create a Brand New Culture. It is just an ebook for you. So you can grab that as well. But there is a new way that ECE leaders are training their team, and over 1,000 people are doing this, right? So it's more effective and it's more efficient. So by the end of this training, this is what you are going to learn. You're going to identify mistakes that you're making in onboarding. You are going to nail down the exact steps you need to create effective training using all free tools. Okay. I mean, I'm a big believer. If I can give you a hack, we can find a hack. I want you to have the hack. So, and you're going to see the possibilities of having your people on board before day 1, because there is that black hole that happens, right? So if you've got, you know, your notifications turned on, I want to encourage you to turn off distractions. Focus here. We're going to hit through this content in about 45 minutes. We're going to leave some time for Q&A. But there is a black hole between the time you hire people and the time that they start with you. So you know that awful feeling, right? When someone comes in for an interview and your desk looks like this, and your brain looks like it on the inside as well. You thought you'd have time to do new employee orientation, and now you got 3 friends that are with you in your office because you had a teacher that didn't show up. Or maybe you get like the rush of getting through everything really affected the overall care because your teachers didn't really truly get trained and they're just not prepared. Okay. But you've seen other directors, maybe you've seen other school leaders winning at this, and you're wondering, like, can I actually get traction? I don't know about you. When I go to conferences, I try to find conferences for myself where I'm the dumbest person in the room. In fact, I'm going to a mastermind this weekend coming up in San Diego. I'm going to be the poorest, the dumbest, least experienced person in the whole room. And I'm so excited because I want to learn from what other people are doing. So maybe you put yourself in situations like that and you're like, how are all these people winning? How is someone being able to grow and scale and I can't do it? This might be one of the keys to that for you. So wherever you're here, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you carved out time. So if I am new to you, I have taught over 100,000 early educators, even though I have the comma in the wrong place marker in that number. I've taught over 100,000 early educators. I need to fix that slide. I've done over 3,000 webinars and worked with 2,000 coaching clients specifically in ECE. So I get you, and I know what your struggles are. I want you to imagine that the time that you spent with your new employees was spent connecting and not having grown-up story time, which is what most of us do. You get a new employee and, turnover is high, and they come into your school and you try to focus and you try to spend all this time making sure that they understand that. I want you to imagine a world where they learn all the rules by watching webinar style training. So just like this, webinar style training as a part of your onboarding. So by the time they come to you, their background clearance is done. They've gone through everything they need to know about culture and connection and compliance and compensation and your curriculum. They've learned all of those things. Imagine on day one, your new teachers arrive and they understand what to know, think, and do because your online training was on point. And also imagine the piece that you're going to have in knowing that you really did go over those policies and procedures that have been that have been tested, and you didn't spend any time doing that. So hopefully that will help you be a believer. So I want to go ahead and get you guys involved in the chat. Tell me 1, 2, or 3. Where are you when your new people come in? Are you 1, you give them a paper manual, 2, you read the paper manual to them, or 3, you assign online training? Now, I did ask you that, but I want you to break it down in this 1, 2, or 3. Okay, Jen and Julie, that's great. And Jen, you're lucky because you've got the support of a franchise, right? But a lot of people on here are independent owners. A lot of us are at once, and that's okay. There's no shame in that game, but that's okay. You're here to do something better. And even if you have it, hopefully this will give you some ideas to turn that talent into performance. Because even if you're coming from a franchise, that franchise doesn't have training on your local content, on you, the owner, and on your culture and on your team and on what you're teaching and training. So you'll have those core rules through your larger organization, but you might not have some of the specific stuff that you teach and train on inside of your particular school. So I want you to imagine what it's going to feel like if they already know the roles, and the routine. That's what you want to make sure that your onboarding is covering. The roles of the people in your school, and the routines. Okay, Ms. Talbot, you're saying you give state digital online training, and that's good, but this is your personal, crafted, curated content that just has to do with your school. And I'm going to teach you what all goes into that. It is possible to run your school and run your onboarding without getting exhausted, but you're going to have to do something different. This right here could be why your onboarding is not sharp. Okay, I'm going to give you a really hard statistic. So if you're multitasking, I want you to come back to me for just a minute. Okay. When you are working on hiring people, this is what's really important for you to know right now. A new statistic by the Garner Research Institute found this: 50% of hourly employees are not starting jobs for which they have accepted a position. So if you're getting ghosted, you're not that special. 50%. What does that mean? Why? Because they got other jobs. People may be applying for jobs in early education, but they also applied at Target, maybe applied at Amazon, maybe they applied at the post office, like retail. They're looking at how much money can they make. And maybe they've got a heart for kids and they're applying just for those kinds of jobs, but maybe they're just looking for a job that makes $18 an hour. So you've got to win it in the beginning and make them think you have a culture and a community that they're going to want to stay and hang out with. And if your onboarding is bad, I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Can you guys hear that little 9 to 5 jam? You might be onboarding like it's 1980, and some of you said you're still giving those paper manuals. So if you're worried about tech stuff, I want to tell you about my client, Nan. She did manuals to modules, and she was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I finally got out of the 20th century. You can do it. It's not that hard. So can you possibly begin to see how this would work in your center? Taking parts of your manual and putting them into modules. So I'm going to show you how to do it, and I'm going to give you kind of a framework. I want you to spend 50% less time onboarding and training your people, your time, your valuable time that you can help work on, grow your business, scale your business, fill those empty seats. You know, I was just doing a training right before I hopped onto this training, and they were like, hey, I want to give my teachers raises, but we have no money. We're a small center. Figure out your revenue gap. Do you know your revenue gap? Going to give you, okay, if you're taking notes, take notes. Write down your full-time enrollment, and then you write down your average weekly rate. Okay, so figure that out. That's what if you full-time enrollment, this would be your revenue. And then how many spots do you have open? Multiply that by a year. That is your revenue gap. You know, a lot of EC owners I look at, they're like, oh, I've got, 6 rooms and I've got maybe 3 spots in each room. Well, that's 18 spots of people that are, possibly paying you $1,500, $2,000 a year. that's an exponential increase. And if you didn't have time doing adult story time, you could work on growing your business or adding enrichment programs or doing things that would help drive the revenue of your center. There may be a few mistakes that you're making. So I want you to just kind of, open up your mind a little bit, believing that there's just too much right now and you're just overwhelmed. Like I don't have time. You're never going to have time. What you want to do is create more energy. Okay. So hear me out on this. We all have the same 24 hours. But the energy that we have during that time is going to vary. I want you to rate your energy. And this is just in basic time management, but rate your energy. Like, I am a morning person. That is my power hour. When I get up, I have a personal quiet and devotion time. And then I, do some yoga, and then bam, I'm into my day. Once I get my mind right, I'm into my day. And my most creative time is from like 7 a.m. to like 11 a.m. So I know that I've got to do my hard stuff. Maybe you're an afternoon person. Maybe you're a night owl. Know your energy and then do those hard things during the time where you are going to need a lot of energy. This is going to take some energy, but you can do it if you manage your energy instead of waking up and going straight to emails or doing tedious tasks like balancing your checkbook at that time, when you could be creating an asset that's going to be great for your business going forward. If you look to sell your business, when someone comes in to buy your business, you're going to want to make sure that you've got assets. You're going to say, how are your employees trained? Oh, we have a great online training program. Everyone was trained consistently. They were onboarded consistently. And if you want to see what it's like to work at, I'd love to see you work through these onboarding courses. So also, you tell yourself you're going to get organized when you have time. A lot of educators say, I'll do it in the summer. Hello, it's July 24th. What have you done? Okay, and the third mistake, possibly, believing that anyone reads your paper manual, because they don't, they skim it. So many owners that I talk to have bought a big, heavy paper manual that looks like a big old trapper keeper, that it would sink you in the ocean if you tied it around your ankle, right? But you never really read it. It's got all those things in there that kind of covers yourself if someone wants to sue you, but it's not, it's a policy book and it's not a training tool. So you do not have to be tech savvy to make this switch. And I just want to tell you that up front to feel confident. You do not have to be tech savvy. You've got a computer and there's some simple systems where it can help you. So, employee policies don't necessarily equal paperwork. Okay. Instead, I want you to centralize everything they need to know and the rules of your school into like a guided, organized digital handbook. Think digital handbook. So yes, it's going to be online, but you're also going to add videos. You're going to add pictures. You're going to add digitally rich content that's going to keep their attention. And if you're not comfortable being on camera like this, like I'm comfortable with this now because I've done it for so long. But when I first started doing online trainings, I would put a picture of people in front of me, so I felt like I was talking to someone. I still don't like my voice. I still don't super love being on camera, but I'm comfortable with it because I've done it for so long. If you're not comfortable with it, I don't want you to be thinking there's no way I could do that. You can record your voice. You do not have to necessarily record videos, and you don't need, anything, like really high tech training. I mean, you all have cameras and you all have speakers on your computers now. You don't necessarily need to run out and buy any new equipment at all. But why is this important? It's important because it's going to help to consolidate and optimize your resources, and it's going to lead to better training outcomes, right? You want the learning to stick. And the big thing is you want them to understand, what do they know, think, and do by the time they come to work. And then if they're, if you have people who are missing policies or missing let's say they're not showing up to work on time, they've had a lot of call outs, they're not showing up on time, they're not delivering the curriculum the way that you taught and train them. You can go back and use these videos to retrain people. Hey, notice that we have a dress code. I want to go ahead and if you would just take a look at this video, the short video, one more time, and just make sure you understand like what it is that you're supposed to wear to work, simple things like that. But also, here's the thing. We all have senior moments, right? I am no spring chicken, and I forget things all the time because I'm a visionary and I have all these ideas in my head, and you probably do too. So when you're training people, there are going to be things that you're going to miss, and accuracy is going to take a hit every single time if you depend on your brain. So assess yourself. So if you're a note taker, here are maybe some questions that you can ask yourself as you're moving into the process to decide, am I ready to convert my manual into modules? So when's the last time that you updated it? And I don't just mean for like COVID policies and stuff like that. Why did you do it? And when did you update it? I have a client that bought a school in 2007, and she was like, I need to overhaul my onboarding. I'm like, well, let's take a look. What do you have now? I got my manual that I bought when I bought this company. And she goes, and I've never read it. Well, here's the problem with that. The old company had progressive discipline, meaning that the children got a red, yellow, and green, marker when they made wrong choices. And she has conscious discipline. That's a big, big difference in how you're going to teach and train teachers. So at one point, you're giving teachers a manual that says, make sure that you're, moving the kids down the chart if they have behaviors that are not what they're supposed to be, versus conscious discipline, which is a very different philosophy. Good example. Also, think about what your onboarding process isn't working. Truth is, most rules, most policies that you have in your organization come out of people, adults, grown-ups who did not make good choices. So, you have an attendance policy because you've had people who have had multiple call-outs that disqualified themselves from being on your bench or being in your school because they couldn't show up to work, and you can't have that. So maybe you have a dress code because you have someone who continually violates the rule of the bees. Are you ready for it? Sorry, Benny, but here we go. I don't want to see your butt. I don't want to see your boobs. I don't want to see your belly, and I don't want to see your back. Like, those are the 4 B's. Your uniform should cover all of those things. And so if for some reason those things are showing, you're out of dress code. And I needed something to say, because there was a time to where, those short, tight t-shirts were in. And so everybody was wearing the short, tight t-shirts. And then we went to lampshading, which is not okay either. But you create those policies out of behaviors that you don't want to see anymore. Also, do you have limited mindsets around, could you do this? And what would it feel like if you didn't have to do manual orientation? Again, it would be freedom. One of my clients, her name is Bree McCarty. She's a multi-site owner up in South Dakota. And she says that getting access to this framework really gave her everything she needed to know about how to do it. So instead of being this girl, right? This girl here who's exhausted, she's tired, and the success of a new employee depends on that sister getting it right. I want to show you how easy it is to turn that hot mess handbook into an online course. So why would you like it? Whether it's time freedom, and I'm just curious, why did you guys show up for this training? Like, you came here because there was a reason. I would love for you to drop in the chat and tell me. So again, if you're multitasking, come back, drop in the chat. Why did you come here? What piece of content do you want to know? What can I train you here on this webinar that's going to give you an actionable step to go implement an idea that you have about overhauling your onboarding and cutting your training time in half? So drop those questions in the chat. I can see the chat here on my second screen. So drop those questions in the chat if you have them. So this is how to do it. Note takers, here we go. 3 simple steps. The first thing you got to do is deconstruct the manual that you have. I recommend to my students that you take it and you put it into a Google Doc. Okay, just take whatever you have, upload it in a Google Doc. And here's why Google Doc, and here's why not Microsoft. Because in a Google Doc, you're not saving it as a PDF. And if everyone has access to that, you can go in, you can see the edits, you can make the changes. And so I want you to be able to see how to audit. What do you have in here? Is it relevant? Is it necessary? Then you edit. You keep only what the best parts are. The things that are no longer serving you, you take those pieces out, right? And then the update. Your up-to-date procedures, all the things that you need to do, right? Okay, let's see what you guys say. Okay, Kendall and Sarah, you say just better training all the way around. Amy, enjoy your trainings. Love to address our onboarding. Oh, good, Amy, I'm glad. Love to have online onboarding of staff because they're not reading. Good, Carmen. Consistency is a high priority. Yeah, and efficient and effective training. Yes, all employees do need the same training. If it depends on this brain, they're not going to get it. Okay. Oh, hey, Crystal, how to actually make the modules and where. What do I do? Okay, I'm going to tell you all of those things. And it's not job form, but we're going to get to it. I'm going to tell you what those systems are, Crystal. So hang in there. You're going to organize your content. Now, we audit and edit it in Google. That's my favorite way. That way, when people are editing, you can see things. And then I teach you how to categorize it to organize the content into different categories. The other system I use is Trello. Trello is free. It's a project management tool. And I teach you how to organize the content into Trello, which is where you migrate it and organize it. And that's just kind of like a project management checklist to make sure you have all of the components that you need, that you're not missing anything. And then you convert it into, you create your courses. I use Canva. I think Canva is prettier. It's way easier than I think Google Slides or Keynote or PowerPoint for sure. I just think it's easier to do in Canva. And there's a free version of Canva as well. You can upload your own videos. You can upload your own, you can record your courses from there. So I say here, the third part is to record your courses. You can record your courses right in Canva, right? You can be a little talking head at the bottom, and then you record those courses. So you create videos and then voiceovers on each slide. So yes, you can show your face, but you can also just turn it off if you're not comfortable on camera and just use your voice. But you can add, you can embed videos into the slides. So let's say, for example, in your training, you want to show how to change a diaper, right? And you've got a video of someone changing a diaper on a doll, and that video needs to be embedded in there. Maybe you want to have training on how to guide them in correcting challenging behaviors. And you want to have a video of that, a video of, some of those state safety things like how to heat up a bottle or how to do face-to-name recognition. So you can have certain videos embedded. So it's not just you talking. You can embed short clip videos that you can go around your school and make super easy. One of my clients is so smart. This is what they did. They took their iPhone and they went around. She said, I'm so tired of telling people how to do everything. She took her iPhone and walked in. Here's how you load the dishwasher. Videoed it, uploaded that video to YouTube, created a QR code, and put a QR code in the kitchen. Nobody come ask me how to start the dishwasher. Here's how to start the dishwasher. I mean, something simple like that. She now has QR codes all over her building, and she's taken those exact videos and she has embedded them into every slide. So yes, Ms. Talbert, you can absolutely use Loom, but if you're recording in Canva, you don't need Loom, right? You don't need, you can use Loom if you want. You can use Loom, you can use Zoom, you can use StreamYard. There's a few different platforms that you can use, but I just think Canva is the easiest because you're already in it creating the slides if you choose to use Canva, okay? Then you're going to create a quiz to check for understanding, and then you're going to share it with your new hires. So, Crystal, to answer your question, there's a few ways to do it. The freest and easiest way is to create a PDF, and inside of our course manuals to modules, we have an example of this, okay? You take your PDF and you embed the links of your videos in that PDF. And if you're using Canva to create it, right, you just put like a little play button icon, and then you click on that icon and you can add a link. So as they open up the PDF has clickable links. They click to watch a video, and then you can create your quizzes right inside of Google Forms. Okay, you can, and there's a different, you can use Google Classroom. You can pay for something like Thinkific. You can use Trello. I used Trello for years, which is where I assign everybody an onboarding board. And here's what they have in the onboarding board. Are you ready? They have, here are everything that you need to upload in your folder. These are your documents I need from you. Here's the online training. And we just had, here's your culture course. Here's your compensation course. Here's your curriculum course. They click on that card and they open it up. The videos are embedded in there and the quiz is embedded in there. That's another way to do it. But again, like I said, you can use LMS, which means Learning Management System. What I use for my onboarding and also in all the courses that I teach, if anyone on here has ever taken any of my courses, I use a WordPress plugin called LearnDash. It's super cheap. It's $189 a year. And it just plugs right into my website. And I have a VA that I create the content for my courses. I give them to her. She loads them up, and then they're automatically assigned to my employees when they come. They watch the videos, they read the content, they take a quiz, they get a certificate. Okay, so there's lots of ways that you can do it. It just depends on, what do you want to invest in it? Do you want to make it free? Make it free. You want to invest in it if you got a larger team. If you got a larger team, you need to invest in it for sure. So deconstructing your manual. Let's go over that first point. Are you with me? Hopefully you guys are with me. I know that was probably a lot of information, but I wanted to make sure to address that question because that's a big question. Deconstructing it. You're going to take your manual. I'm going to recommend you upload it into Google Docs. Again, we have inside of manuals to modules, we've got a lot of templates in there, and that's just one of them. You're going to reorganize and reorder your content based on these 5 key components, which are culture, compensation, connection, compliance, and curriculum. Most schools that I know can get all of their content into one of those 5 pillars. So you'll organize all of your everything that is in your manual into those 5 components. And then you reinvent. You don't just convert it, right? You reinvent what you're teaching. This is your chance to up level everything in your school, to make everything fresh, to make everything new, to get people excited. And this, friends, this is not just for new employees. If you're going to do this, I want you to do this. I want you to onboard everybody like it's their first day. Get them excited about it. Yes, Carmen, one more time. And I think there's a slide in here for it, but I'm not sure, but I'll go ahead and tell you. Culture, compensation, compliance, connection, curriculum. Those are the 5. I can't believe I remembered it. Those are the 5. It's because I'm in this content so much. I teach this a lot because I love it. I'm such a big believer in it. But you're going to restructure that content and reduce the information that you share. Oh, Benny, thank you for dropping that in there. There we go. Benny has it in the chat. Oh, look, there's a slide. I thought there was a slide in this, but there it is right there. So if you want to take a picture, take a picture. Those are the 5 core components that will teach you how to organize the content into those content pillars. Okay. And so you'll have a course on culture, course on connection, so on and so forth. You don't just want to talk about disconnected policy. So like in connection, the connection is, how do we connect with our team? How do we connect with our children? This right here is where you are going to embed playground videos. How do we use, if you're a user of Playground, how do we use this? How do we expect you to communicate with the parents? What are the systems that we use? How do we communicate with our teachers, teacher to teacher, staff to staff? How does staff communicate with parents? You know, how do we get paid? How do we do billing? All of those things are embedded in each one of these key components of your courses. And then finally, you're going to create your courses. So you're going to take the words from your manual, you're going to edit it, you're going to paste those words into slides, you'll organize it in your Trello board, and then you're going to record your voiceover on those slides, just like you're giving an in-person orientation. Okay, so rather than opening up your Trapper Keeper, reading page after page like it's grown-up story time, you're going to be in the quiet of your office or your house, wherever you go, and you are going to create webinar style training. And in that black hole between the time you make a job offer and between the time they start with the children, they're going to go through these courses and they're going to have so much information and understand what it's going to be like to work at your school. I worked through this process with my friend Donna. Donna, if you know her, she's amazing. She's a childcare business coach, and she's got 3 or 4 schools. I'm going to be going to see her. I'm doing her team training in Myrtle Beach next month, and she uses this method. I mean, she's like my perfect student. Like, she is the star student, teacher's pet, because she's got all these schools and she hires a lot of people. And so she's like, this is so amazing that I don't have to sit and tell my story and go through everything. Yes, Amy, absolutely. I pay them for their onboarding time. Absolutely. You're going to pay them for that onboarding time anyway. But here's the cool thing. If you're doing manual training, you're getting paid, which means you got to get out of your seat with your director's hat. You've got to sit down and train, and you're paying them. Now you're free to do other work and you're paying them to do their own onboarding. So, you know, maybe you have a system where they can clock in. Or maybe if you don't have like an offsite clock-in system, you can just say, okay, each module is going to take you 5 hours. So we're going to pay you 5 hours and we'll add that to your first paycheck. So you'll get their assessment, you know, when it comes back, and you'll know like, okay, this person completed the training. They either completed it or they did not complete it. And that, what I like about my LMS LearnDash is that it creates certificates. So I have my people, I assign them a box folder. You can use Box, Dropbox, Google Drive. I assign them a folder, and it's their responsibility to upload all of their own file into that box folder, into that cloud. Okay. And I don't want to get too tagged, but like, I use a program called Zapier that automatically creates it when they sign their contract, and I don't even touch it. That's a whole different training, automation technology. But if you can create a Google folder for them and then share the link to their Google folder, they're responsible for uploading their driver's license, their social security, their CPR, their first aid, their affidavits, whatever paperwork, whatever state paperwork you need for them, they're able to upload that. Okay. So do what Donna did, get your training. So I would say this, you have 2 options. You can DIY it like usual without really a clear path. And I've given you all of the tools today to do that if you want to do it, or you can 100% commit and follow a proven strategy, and I can walk you through it in manuals to modules. So it is time to get out of those paper manuals. Most of you said you're still using them. I want you to be free from that. So manuals to modules is something that's always out there. It's always available for purchase. It is it's a 9-module course. It's online. So it's got videos, templates, tons of templates, and I'll explain what those are. But the doors are open to that. You'll get workbooks, training videos, but people come to me for teaching because they're all about a hack. If I can save you time, if I can give you a hack, if I can show you an easier way to do something, that's what I want to do. I'm an efficiency freak, and so I love a good hack. I would say this, it's going to take you about 40 days if you just work on it here and there. Now, I've known some people to say, I'm going to get a hotel room and I'm going to knock this mother out in a weekend, and maybe you can't. And if you can do that, good on you. I'm cheering you on. Most people just dip into it and it takes them a little bit of time. So once you understand the tools that you need, you wrap your mind around the tools that you need. And like I said, I recommend Google Drive, Trello, Canva, and then, researching those learning management systems for how you want to do it. So, okay, you said you're not computer savvy at all. That's okay. It will be a major improvement. This course will help you. It will walk you through it. I mean, there's tons of tech tutorials throughout this. So, Mary, I get it. I'm not super tech either, but I'm smart enough to know when I need to tap out on a grown-up story time, because I want my people to have better training than I, in my distracted mind, could give them. It teaches you how to deconstruct your manual. So it'll show you the process and give you samples of how to audit, edit, update it, and eliminate what needs to go. Help you organize that content, right? So you'll know what to put on every slide and in every category for each course. It'll walk you through how to create your slide decks and what needs to go on every slide. Then it'll teach you how to record it, how to bring that training to life, and then how to share it, like how to implement it as onboarding. And I've given you guys kind of a high level cliff notes on what that looks like. But again, deconstruct your manual, organize your content, create your courses. That's what you need to know. If you take nothing else away from this, just know and understand that is what you need to do. But that first part is really important. Get rid of the junk that is no longer serving you. All that legalese, that's between you and your lawyer and your people. I will say, I am hashtag not a lawyer, okay? I am not telling you, and I tell you in this course, I'm not telling you to take out anything that is going to cover yourself from liability. What many of my clients will do is they will send the paper manual, still the 400-pager that they got from their lawyer, have people sign off on it. They've signed off on it, you've covered yourself. That is a policy book. This is training. This is onboarding. This is what teaches people your culture, what you expect, what it's going to be like when they come to work for you. This is going to really give them a feel of what it's going to be like to work in your school. So 40 days to freedom, right? So you can start out with hoping that they act like grown-ups after they have their story time, to taking them in your online branded courses, helping them understand what to know, think, and do. Another one of my clients, Crystal, she actually does Stretch and Grow up in the Richmond area. And we converted our training in Stretch and Grow years ago, even way before COVID, to online training. And of course, we've improved it and refined it over the years. But our people are remote, right? We don't have a brick and mortar. We go into the schools. And so, I office like this is my house. Like my office is a bedroom in the upstairs of my house. My husband has one downstairs and I have one up here. I don't have people come to my house for training. We do this online training and they get it. So then when I get a chance to meet with them, we get to connect. They've already learned the rules. Now I just get to know them and get to spend time with them and get to connect with them. So once you walk through the audit, the edit, the update piece, you will get inside of Strategist. There's a few bonuses that we have. We have a manual template. So there's a sample manual and it shows you exactly examples of, and it's color coded, right? What's in culture? What is compliance? What is in compensation? It breaks that all down. And then there's a Trello board in there. So this is what the Trello board looks like. So if you've never used Trello, think of a board, and on the board are lists, and think of it like having a Post-it party. Underneath the list, you've got every single card represents a slide. And so you can put labels like need more information, this is done. It's a project management tool, right? So you can assign it to people if you're working on a team with it. Like, let's say you need your bookkeeper to put some things in there about compensation, how they're going to get paid, what documents they need to fill out so that you can complete their payroll. Maybe someone else needs to help you with that. Maybe you've got a curriculum coordinator who's going to work on the curriculum deck. So you can add people. It's a true project management board, and you can work through that. So you get a loaded Trello board with that as well. And then when you sit down to create your courses, this is what you need to know. What do you need? Obviously a laptop. Zoom, I should say Zoom, but I will take this away. You do not even have to have Zoom if you want to record those courses in Canvas. Someone mentioned Loom, which is great. You don't have to have that. You can record straight from Canva. And then of course a camera and a mic, which most laptops have those. So, I mean, I've got like a great webcam and I've got a baller mic. You don't need a baller mic and you don't need a webcam. What generally your laptop is going to have is going to be just fine. Then you'll create your slide decks, make them branded. Do you know your brand? For multitasking, come back. I hope that nothing written that anyone sees in your building is written in Comic Sans or Times Roman fonts. Those fonts are the kiss of death. It dates you. It absolutely dates you. And it tells people that you are not up with the time and that you are not willing to update your material. So when you're going to spend the time to update this stuff, please, my friends, absolutely no Times Roman and no Comic Sans. Know what your fonts are. Be clear on your brand. Pick like maybe a header font, like an accent font, and then a body copy font, and make it simple and easy to read. I use Poppins in my company. Montserrat is a great one. Century Gothic is a great one. So just some very simple, easily readable fonts that you are going to want to put in here. And then if you're inside of Manuals to Modules, we have a free design training in there on how to use Canva, how to overcome overwhelm in Canva. And then you get to watch your new hires enjoy your onboarding. So we've got all of those bonuses that are inside. And then if you want to enroll, if you go and use the code M2M100, that will save you $100 on Manuals to Modules. So you go to my website, bethcannonspeaks.com/Manuals to Modules, and you can sign up for that. So why did you come today? Because I know you're super busy. It's in the middle of the day, but something resonated with you. And some of you are like, hey, I'm curious. So if you've got questions and you still have some curiosity around all this content that I broke down for you, I want you to tell me in the chat. And if you don't get a chance to say it in the chat, make sure that you send me an email. My email is beth@bethcannonspeaks.com. Some of you guys, you mentioned you're on my email list, so you get those emails. Drop them in the chat. I want to make sure that I answer anything that you have right now, because something resonated with you about getting here today and you chose to do your time. So if you're thinking that you are overwhelmed, again, I want to remind you, summertime's a great time to get this project done, whether you have a framework or you DIY it. Either way, I am cheering you on so that you get it done. Okay. Hey, Karen. It's just figuring out how. Interested in taking the class. So Karen, did you do Stuck to Strategy Academy? I can't remember. I know you did Learn to Lead. Karen, did you do Stuck to Strategy Academy also? Okay. Karen, you have manuals. You said yes. Okay. So it's going to say, if you've taken my Stuck to Strategy Academy, Manuals to Modules is inside of Stuck to Strategy Academy. If you're one of my students in Stuck to Strategy, Manuals to Modules is a standalone course on its own that I also teach it in Stuck to Strategy Academy. And so it's there. But if otherwise go on, grab it, use M2M100, and that's going to save you $100. But I've given you guys the highlights. So like I said, if you're a DIYer, I gave you all the stuff. If you want the exact framework and a template, and you like a good hack, you go grab the hack. You don't have to have it. You don't have to have the course in order to do this yourself. So, but this is why it's for you though. It's going to give you the tools, the tips, the tricks, the support that you need to not just retain your employees, but if you retain one employee, right, you will have paid for it. Jen, you say there are so many new staff. I feel like the staff don't know what the expectations are. Yeah, Jen, you are not wrong. And there's so much. So I want to remind you guys of this too. People are getting 35,000 messages a day. 35,000 messages a day. We're on an average of 5 social media platforms, plus email, plus work communication. So, you may have Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, or X, right? You may have those 5 social medias, and then you've got Slack at work, and you've got a group me, and then you've got a Facebook group, and then you have your email, and then you have your group text, and you've got your community friends, your mom friends, your work friends, your high school friends. I mean, there's so many different ways of communication. So we're getting so many messages. And if it feels harder than it ever was, it is harder. People are not retaining information because they're getting so many messages. And so you are going to win if you can break these messages down and train your people in a way that's going to stick. So if you're using online training, right, that they're getting that consistency, you're going to tell them what you're going to tell them. You're going to tell them what you told them as you wrap up each slide deck. And then you're going to check for understanding. So you do have to make quizzes for each one of these because you want to quiz them to check for understanding. Did you work through the content? Did you get it? Do you understand it? So it's a project, but I'm telling you, you can do it in 40 days. You can get it done between now and the beginning of September. And what would it feel like if you were able to get this done in a way that made absolute sense for you? So few FAQs that come up. I just want to address these real quick. Drop questions in the chat if you have them. How much time do you need to invest? On average, like I said, it takes the average student about 40 days, 3 to 4 weeks of focus time. If you can just find the time to focus, you can knock it out. But it depends on the content of your manual, obviously. If you've got a super complicated manual, it's going to be a little harder. You do get immediate access to all the modules inside of manuals to modules. And then tech stuff that overwhelms. Someone had a question about the tech stuff. We have a tech library inside of that. But again, the platforms that I recommend, which even if you skip Trello and just go straight from your manual and put it in Canva, there are so many tutorials on YouTube and in Canva as well. Like, how do I create a presentation? How do I record a course? How do I put in my brand kit? All of those things are so easy trainable. Everything is figure outable. You do not have to be tech savvy. Even if you go back to Google Slides or PowerPoint, something that's not as, I think Canva is easier, but you might not be familiar with it. There's a bit of a learning curve, but it's super tiny, super small learning curve, I think. So anyway, but that is what it is. And so I want to go ahead and take any other questions that you guys have. I am super pumped that you all came, that you showed up. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. I got to show my screen again because I told you if you stayed until the end, you would get this free little, and this just goes directly in. Go ahead and grab that. It's create a brand new culture. And if you want to grab that, it's just a little ebook for you. And Benny, I can give you the link for that as well. So this has been great. Thank you guys so much for all the engagement. I hope you learned some stuff. I hope you feel inspired. But my question I want to ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, who's going to do it? Who's going to convert their manuals to modules on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 means you're highly likely. 1 means you're like, not going to happen. I want to know this. Let's see. Scale of 1 to 10. Okay, Ms. Talbert, you say 10.
You're getting a lot of 10s. And 5s
look
too,
at you
10.
guys. Jamie Martin, 10. It's gonna happen, Boo. All right, Boo. I got you, Boo. I'm okay, Jamie. I'm watching you. You're gonna have to. I can't wait to see it. Awesome. Okay, I love it. Way to go. I hope you guys got, I see a lot of 10. So, hey, if I can inspire one person, that makes me happy. Anytime I get the opportunity and the privilege to come on and teach people, I hope that they would walk away and say, I did not waste my time listening to Beth, that I learned something. I try really hard to give you guys value when you take the time and the privilege to come hear me speak. And so if I gave you something of value, that makes my heart happy. I can go to bed feeling good that I accomplished the mission for today.
I think the content you provide, Beth, is super valuable and super actionable. And I think the chat speaks for it. Very awesome stuff. I think this is something that's not only for childcare. I think every business needs to onboard a new staff and show them, train them, and really make sure they have the quality down before they hit the ground. And this is something that's going to be useful for any industry. So you should start doing this talk for everyone.
I love it. I mean, I love it. I just recorded a challenge for another company. I love it. And this is, I created this course. It was during COVID, and so many schools were shut down. And my husband and I went to go work. We have some friends that have a little cottage up on their property in Hawaii, and they let us come and stay for a month. We had our company was totally shut down. We had nothing else to do. So we went out there. And so I created this overlooking the Pacific Rim up in the mountains. And I was so inspired when I got to create that, because I knew that in the time that we were in, it was going to absolutely revolutionize the way that people were able to onboard staff before they could get them in the building and get them up and get them going. And so that's kind of the time that it was created. And of course, we've refined it a little bit since then, but it revolutionized the way that I train my team. And hopefully it's done that for the thousands of people who've heard me teach on it.
I'm sure it has, no doubt about it. I mean, I'm sure some people from this event will go out and change their training.
I hope they do. I hope they change something.
Ms. Talbert says, thank you, Beth. You are amazing, Ms. Talbert. I totally agree. If anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and send them to the chat. Beth, I'm curious, what would you say to the people that sent a 5 to the chat? Obviously,
Well, I would just say, I would ask, if we were having coffee, I would say, what's the barrier to you getting it done? What's the holdback? Is it that the time? Is it generally that's it? It's the time investment or the not understanding the benefit of it. But I would like to paint the picture of, imagine a world where someone comes into your building to start the first day and they've already gone through all of your rules, your values. They understand, they've got an idea of what it's like to be in your building without having been there. And it's the time freedom, right? It's the time freedom that they're not having to spend that time one-on-one. And some people say, well, I like to spend the time one-on-one. Spend that time connecting to their hearts, not going over rules.
100%. It's, people join companies because they align with the mission and they want to make a change, not because they want to read policy handbooks. So
exactly.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Beth.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for having me on this webinar Wednesday.
We'll hopefully have many more in the future. And thank you everybody who joined. We will send the recording out shortly after over email, and have a great day to everyone. So thank you.
Thanks, friends. Bye-bye.
Take care, Beth. Thank you.